All right. Happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday. Let me throw my headphones on real quick. Oh, man. I'm so sleepy today. Let me see. Welcome, welcome. If y'all are okay, period. Okay, sorry. I was just looking at my screen here. Let me go ahead and go live from my other page here. Oh, hello, hello, Susie. How are you? How are you? What's up, London? Hi, Guy. Welcome, welcome. I hope everyone is doing well. Hope everyone's feeling great. Let me put my title under here. A lot of people be asking, like, what the hell? Okay, let's put that in there real quick. Boom. Make sure we get those credentials up there, right? Happy Monday, guys. I hope everyone's Monday is treating them kindly, that you are able to accomplish whatever it is you're wanting to accomplish for the day. I'm well. I'm just a little tired. So today's coaching corner is going to be super short, super duper short because I have a lot of stuff to do. Uh, but I do want to continue to bring the coaching corner on here. Um, I am building out a community. And so let me tell you guys a little bit about that. So the coaching corner space here is great. And I love what we do here. I think that it is helpful just to kind of set the tone for your Monday, just get you off to a great start to your week. I also think there is power in community. So I have been developing a community outside of just the space here that we congregate on TikTok because there are a lot of people that aren't on TikTok per se. So I have been multi streaming these between TikTok, IG, and the Book of Faces alongside the YouTube channel. So people are wanting more of it. So I'm in the process of developing a community so that we can continue to support one another outside of the Mondays, right? Because Mondays, they're at the beginning of the week, but what happens midweek, right? Unless you are one of my coaching clients, it's a little harder to have that accountability. And I am going to be opening up some slots for coaching in the month of August. I don't have any spots. This is when you know I'm tired. I don't have any spots right now for July, and these are quarterly spots. So you'll have a coach for a quarter. Should you decide that you want to continue for the following quarter, then you could absolutely extend your coaching program in that way. But we do every 3 months, 90 days, just kind of to see if it's a good match, see if it's a good fit for both ends, right? Because I want to be able to actually help you and I want to be able to actually provide value, but we have to be kind of on the same page, right? So ultimately, the coaching is a great experience with myself or someone on my team. Some people prefer, to work directly with me. Other people may prefer to work with one of my coaches, and that's cool too. Whichever, this is why there is more than one coach in the program because that way it allows for people to have some options, right? And we are going to be essentially, launching some things in the upcoming months. So stay tuned for that. What's up, Biggie? Welcome. I was just talking about my coaches, and he just entered the building. So if you haven't connected with Biggie, he's having surgery. So he's not doing the coaching right this second, but he will be doing some coaching. And if you are a person interested in getting coaching directly from Biggie, myself, or Arisa, feel free to email us at talkberrytome@gmail.com, or you can just fill out the discovery form on my link in bio. So either way, we're happy to help you or just point you in the right direction, whichever makes the most amount of sense. So I don't know if let me see. I didn't have oh, excuse me guys. I didn't have a my internet's a little janky right now. I thought I had a bunch of windows open, but I don't have a bunch of windows open. So either way, like I said, today's live will be a lot shorter than usual. And I wanted to just jump into this real quick because excuse me. Okay, let's see. Power of intention. I had some notes here on different topics that we can talk about. And one of the ones that really stuck out for me was the bounce back mindset. Hey, what's up, Danny? Welcome, welcome. Having a bounce back mindset. What does that mean to you guys? And I'll tell you what it means to me, right? So, having a bounce back mindset really just talks to me about, well, I'm probably experiencing something that may, in some way, shape, or form, shift my day to day. May shift. Um, it may shift how I may be dealing with things. Hey, I'm good. I'm good. But am I going to allow those things to keep me stagnant, or am I going to continue to push past the difficulties of whatever it is I'm experiencing, right? So, I'll give you guys an example from my own personal life. So, I shared this numerous times with you guys about me being out of work and how in that moment it was a devastating situation. However, I understood that I only had X amount of time to give myself to really just feel my feels and move on, right? But not everyone is able to do that, right? Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Why do sometimes when things happen, and I've been there before too, sometimes we get stuck. Yeah. Look, sometimes we also, yeah, we get stuck in the past. We get stuck in things that have already happened to us, as opposed to moving on from those things, as opposed to allowing yourself to step into something else or step into a new approach on how to handle certain things. So today is about encouraging, right? Our friends who may be going through whatever it is they're experiencing and knowing that you're not alone. One, because that's the other piece, right? Sometimes it feels very lonely when you're going through some stuff and you feel like you're the only person going through some stuff. It can feel a little lonely. I want you to know that you're not on your own, first and foremost. Second of all, whatever it is that you're experiencing is not here to stay. It's here to pass, and it's here to teach you a lesson if you allow it to teach you a lesson. And also ultimately, the goal is to go through some stuff, learn some stuff, and move on, right? I think what happens is we get very bogged down by what happens to us, and it could sometimes create the opposite of moving on. It can create a sense of paralyzing. For sure, last week I was dealing with a horrible mental health issue. Much better this. I love that. See, Susie, I think that in the moment it's hard to feel like there's room for something different to happen. But if you really just weather that storm, navigate those waters, and push through, you will be surprised how different you feel in days that follow, right? You'd be how surprised you feel with the things that you're able to accomplish moving forward. I'm also a person that has dealt quite transparently with postpartum depression. And one of the trickiest things with depression is that it makes you feel like hopeless. It makes you feel like this is it. This is how I'm going to be feeling forever. And that is very, very intentional, right? Like your mind is like cycling through these feelings and you think that these feelings are going to stay there forever and you start creating even more insane catastrophized ideas in your head and then you end up down the rabbit hole. So I have to remind myself that no, 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 no. This is just a temporary state of being. This is not my entire life. And I do understand that while I feel like this today, there's so much that I am grateful for. There is so much that I'm blessed to have, right? One of the things I like to remind myself is what am I grateful for? What am I grateful for? And this is how I start my mornings, a gratitude check. I'll ask you guys, what is something you're grateful for? Let me know in the chat. Tell me something you're grateful for. I want to give it some shine time. Welcome, welcome. What is something you're grateful for? Thank you, thank you. Let me know in the chat what is one thing or two things or three things you're grateful for. This is a quick little gratitude check. For me this morning, I'm gonna say I am grateful for just have waking up. I woke up this morning. I was exhausted, but I was able to get up, take my baby girl to her program, and make my way back in time to handle some business that I had to take care of pretty early on. I knocked out a ton of emails, which, for me is a big deal because, as y'all know, I'm self proclaimed ADHD. And I think it's important to acknowledge those wins, right? So I'm really, really grateful to have been able to accomplish something and see it all the way through, even though it may seem simple to others. Me being able to see those types of tasks through are super important, super duper important because now I know that I'm not going to walk around with this cloud over my head about the things that I didn't do. Susie says, I'm grateful for the ability to push through the tough times. Ooh, I love that, Susie. Love that. Love that. Sin says, I'm grateful for my health and journey. Yes, yes, I love that. There's so much to be grateful for, guys. I think that we get so caught up. Oh, let me go see on Instagram. First Lady says, I'm grateful for my husband of 33 years as of Saturday. Oh, congratulations, First Lady. Congratulations. I always forget to check the other chats. My bad, y'all. So yeah, there's so much to be grateful for. If we really start our day thinking about, as opposed to what we've got to do for the day, what in fact do we have in this very day that we can say thank you for? That really truly does change the way your mind begins to process things, because if you start your day with an attitude of gratitude, something happens internally that allows you to walk through your day and navigate through your day knowing that you have things already in your life that are positive, knowing that you have things already in your life that you're grateful for. So it's really, really hard to break down a person who understands the value of everything they already have. It's really, really hard to break down a person who decided first thing in the morning that they're going to have a great day no matter what the universe throws at them. So I want us to really keep that top of mind. I know sometimes it's hard to think about, dang, what are some things I'm grateful for? Life is like falling apart. But even with everything that's happening to you at the most basic, most simplest level, if you woke up today, that is already a win. If you woke up today and you have a roof over your head, no matter if it's your dream home, no matter if it's, your dream, if it's not your dream apartment, your dream home, it doesn't matter. but you woke up with a roof over your head. When you got up and you went to your kitchen and you opened up your refrigerator, was there food in there? Yeah, maybe not your favorite snacks, but was there something you can consume? If yes, that's already a win. I want us to look at the little things, right? You were able to walk to your refrigerator. You have your the ability of mobility. You have the ability of mobility. That is such a big deal. You don't know how many people wish they could walk out their bed. They can walk out into the to their kitchen. Some people who highly depend on other people to care for them. Were you able to wipe your own behind, right? Like those simple things that we take for granted every single day. Those are so important. Those are so important. When we start looking at things in that way and looking at the small things that others wish they had, and really just see that we have so many things already happening for us, it really takes away that mindset of, I wish I had this, I wish I had that. You already have a lot. You already have more than you probably are accounting for. I want you to be grateful for those things, right? Especially when is hitting the fan. Extra especially when ish is hitting the fan, because let me tell you, ish will hit the fan. If there's one thing I can tell you with certainty, and a lot of people don't always like to hear this, is that sometimes life is going to smack the dog shit out of you. I hate to say it that way, but it's the truth, right? And what do we have to kind of walk us through that is, while life is smacking you up, you're in this life, right? You're still here. So it made you could fight back. You can still get your hit back. I know that's like a silly way of putting it, but I think it's so important. It's so important that you know that even when you're getting beat up by life, that the fact that you're even experiencing that tells me that you have the ability to fight back. You have the ability to change that narrative. Getting out of bed to me is a win some days. Then I tell myself, what can I do next? Yes, absolutely, Susie. I love that. And you know what? It's in the simple things. You know, I think that it's the world we live in. Like, if you just watch the news, if you see all the stuff that's going on in the world, it's very easy to go down the dark rabbit hole of like helplessness and defeat and like what is going on. This world is insane. You have to set yourself up for success first thing in the morning. I don't even turn on the news first thing in the morning, because I know the news is intended to tell me all the terrible things happening in the world. That's just, and that's their job. I'm not mad at it. I just know that I can't consume that first thing in the morning. Kind of like what you eat in the morning. Are you going to have a shot of tequila first thing in the morning? And look, I'm not yucking your yum, but that may not be the best option first thing in the morning, right? So I'm not going to introduce my spirit first thing in the morning to the news. I'm not going to introduce my mind first thing in the morning to some negative shit, because at the end of the day, that stuff is not going anywhere. But what I will do is I'm going to set myself up, build that credit up first thing in the morning. And I say credit because sometimes you could already be having a great morning, but creating those rituals of adding value to yourself first thing in the morning is so powerful. So maybe you're listening to a motivational audio. Maybe you're listening to, the word, whether you're listening to, you know, Sarah Jakes, or maybe you're a Joel Osteen person. Maybe you're a TD Jakes person. Maybe I can't think of the other guy's name. But whatever you are doing first thing in the morning, please, please fill your cup. Fill your cup, because throughout the day, your cup's going to get, there's going to be people trying to take sips out of your cup, right? Whether it's your kids, whether it's your spouse, whether it's your job, whether it's, if you're in school, you know, interactions, right? All those things take from your cup on a day in and day out. So be intentional about filling your cup to the brim, all the way to the top, as much as you can, because I'm gonna tell you right now, you can't predict what's gonna happen outside of you, but what you can do is equip yourself to handle it. And how do you do that? You set yourself with these types of things. You counteract the negative with some positive. You don't need to help the negative. The negative already happens by itself. It's very easy. It's just one of those things that just natural occurrence, right? We don't need to help it out. So we're gonna counteract the negative with the positive. Our church serves a huge homeless community. You're right. Just having a fridge with any food is a gigantic but absolutely 100%. I think sometimes we just have to remind ourselves it's not like we don't know these things, right? It's just that life is so fast moving. Sometimes things happen to where we forget like how blessed we are. We forget how fortunate we are to have our health, how fortunate we are to have our loved ones, right? I I have three little ones with my middle child who is on the spectrum. And when I first got the diagnosis, I was devastated because I didn't know that I would be equipped to be the mother she needed me to be. And then I realized, I said, just the fact that I'm even saying that is like, no, absolutely not. I am the mother she needs, and I'm always going to advocate for my children. And I'm 100% going to do the best I possibly can because that is who I am. And I refuse to follow any other narrative that's not me being the best possible mom I could be for my kids. Right. So I took that and I ran with it. Right. The second I got the diagnosis, while I was devastated, I understood that I had to be proactive. I needed to put some things in place. I needed to create situations and opportunities for her to be better set up for her future. So this is what I mean. The second you have a negative thought about anything you're wanting to do or anything that you're actively doing, I need you to counteract it with a positive thought as to why. That's where that bounce back comes from. That act of convincing yourself, even if Delulu is the Salulu, listen, run with it, right? Tell yourself these things until you're actually believing it, right? So I think there's so much good that lies within us, but there's also that dark space that is so easy to kind of like dive headfirst into. So it's very, very important that you counteract the negative. The second you have a negative thought about yourself, I'm not looking my best, cut it out. Cut it out and look at yourself and say, you know what? I may not love everything about what I'm seeing in the mirror, but I have the ability to change that because I'm resilient, I'm strong, I'm capable, and this situation is not my forever situation. Anything that I want to change, I can get it done. I've done other things that are hard. I've done other things that are difficult. I've changed my situations in other circumstances. Why not now? Why not me? Right? These are the things we have to tell ourselves because there's always going to be the negative whisper in the back of our head. You have to shut them up. You got to put them in a chokehold and just be like, listen, shh, shh. Nope. We're not interacting with this. We're not even saying it aloud. That's another thing too, right? So with the bounce back piece that we were talking about, a lot of times we speak aloud the things that are negative louder than we speak the things that are positive. There is power in what we say. I know this. Some people say there's power in the tongue. Yes, your words are your wand. I've said this before, and I actually read a really short book about how your words are your wand. What you say creates your future. What you say, you give life to, right? So you have to be very careful the words you speak on yourself. You have to be very careful the words you speak on the people you care about, right? And you have to be very careful with what we bring life to, where we deposit our energy, right? Whether you, even if you're not speaking it out loud, where is your mind going, right? The second I have these thoughts that are not productive, I'm like, delete, delete. And it's not like they really truly delete, but it's just like me telling myself, like, we are not entertaining this thought. That alone helps so much, so freaking much. That's tough sometimes, but I'm working on positive. Listen, it is hard. It is very hard. But I want you to always be the person that's obnoxiously positive, even if it's just for yourself, right? It is part of our survival. It is part of us seeing one day after the other. Because if we don't tell ourselves these things, and it's okay to acknowledge the negative, right? It's not being so delusional that you don't know that you're going through something that's tough. No, it's saying, okay, yes, I'm going through this. Because I think when people get confused with affirmations and what's actually happening in their life is like the affirmation only works when you actually know and acknowledge what you're going through. Right now, I'm having a hard day, right? That's acknowledging it. But then what's going to follow after that is, no, I'm having a hard day. It's a terrible, no, that's not going to follow it. I'm having a hard day. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead and reframe that. I'm not having a hard day. I'm having a challenging moment right now. My day has not ended. So this moment can end right here right now. Anything moving forward, I'm going to choose to see the best in it. I'm going to choose to make better decisions, whatever it is. Like if you're a berry and you're maybe didn't eat the meal you wanted to eat, or maybe you kind of took a detour to McDonald's or whatever, that was just one meal. That doesn't ruin the rest of your week. That doesn't ruin the rest of your day. That doesn't ruin the rest of your journey. Sometimes you just need another meal, right? Sometimes you just need another hour. I say this all the time because I've done that where maybe self sabotage, ate something that didn't align with my journey, and then I feel guilty about it. Then I have to remind myself this journey is forever. While you are here on God's green earth, you have the rest of your life to get it right. So even if you fudge it up this morning, you still got this afternoon, right? Even if you're going through a situation that really shook you up this morning, you can decide that, you know what? Yeah, it shook me up this morning, but from here, from this moment right on, I'm going to go into problem solving mode. What can I do to fix it? What can I do to be proactively pouring back into myself so that I can handle this situation? You see what I'm saying? It's not to the point where it's like it doesn't exist, because I think that kind of delusion could be counterproductive, because then you're not proactive, right? But if you acknowledge that something exists, but really, really dissect it, is this ruining my day? Is this ruining my week? Is this ruining my month? Is this ruining my year? Or is this just a situation that's happening right now in this moment that may have thrown me off my game? We catastrophize. I've done it. I'm good for it. I get it from my mama. And sometimes things are not as terrible as we make them out to be if we really take pause, acknowledge, and see, like, okay, what can be done here? What's the next thing we can do here? So that bounce back is not pretty, but it's necessary, right? I think the bounce back comes with acknowledging where things fell off, where things could be improved, where things could be adjusted so that we can make that bounce back, right? Yeah. Let me see. Sorry. Let me check my other chats here. Sorry, I see you. Hey, hey, welcome. I'm live on like three different platforms right now. So I do apologize if I missed any of your messages. Actually, let me check my YouTube real quick. I am going to get ready to hop off of here in just about a minute or so. But I just want to leave you with this. No matter how hard life knocks you down, and this is not my quote, but I'm going to quote it as best I can remember it. No matter how bad life knocks you down, if you can look up, you can get up. That was Les Brown, actually. If you can look up, you can get up. That resonated with me so heavily because I said, you know what? I took that as no matter what life throws my way, if I have a pulse and a purpose, then I'm unstoppable. I'm unstoppable. It don't matter what happens to me, because it's not happening to me, it's happening for me. There's something I'm supposed to take from this situation because it's part of my divine path that's going to grow me, develop me, fine tune my skills and ability so that I can be better, so I can learn something, so I could teach something. The only reason I can sit here and have these conversations with you guys is because I've fallen on my ass quite a bit of times. And I'm pretty sure I have some more, stuff coming up that because it's new and it's unknown, that there are going to be some hiccups, right? But I'm okay with that because I know that at the other side of it is the growth. On the other side of it is the development. On the other side of it is the reward of knowing that you saw that through, that you weathered that storm, that you are on the other end of it, and now you can be a blessing to somebody else. How cool is that? That's freaking cool. At least for me, it was. But as again, guys, I apologize. I usually do these for about an hour. Today I'm just like swamped with stuff to do. I didn't want to not. Hey, Nikki, what's up, my love? I did not want to come on here and just share, that piece because I think it's super important to understand that no matter what situation you find yourself in, that it is not here to stay, and it's up to you to begin to define what it is that that situation is teaching you and how you can leverage that so that you're able to learn something and come out on the other side of it stronger than you were in that situation. Without That'll be all for now, guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll probably, if I don't come back on a little later tonight, I need to finish a few things that I've got going on here. Um, Make sure you check out the guys of the Berry Mill Experience. They're live on Taco Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific time. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, friends on IG and on YouTube as well and Facebook. I will catch you guys hopefully a little later. Maybe I'll jump on a little later for continuations of this conversation. Alrighty, guys. Bye.